Hi, and welcome to Surfboard by Kowabunga Studios. So, this is the walkthrough, and we're going to start with lighting. So, once you open up the GUI, have it installed, it's off the Add-ins tab. You're going to come to this menu. When you get here, first, all the room names are consolidated here. So, that means that if you have 4 admin rooms, let's say, or 2 computer labs, they'll be consolidated into a single line item that you'll basically input the parameters for that space type, and it'll populate accordingly. So our default menu will populate all of these. So if we go to the default menu, so this has already been preloaded since I've used it before, but if you haven't used it before, the add-in, you'll click these 3 little dots and you'll navigate to where your Revit families are and load the one that is your standard light fixture. So for this, it's a 2x4 troffer. I'm going to increase the lumens to 4,000 lumens. We have a 2x2 ceiling grid. The default foot candle level I'm going to use is 40. Again, this is going to populate for all spaces. So the majority of your spaces, whatever that foot candle level is that you designed to, you can input that here. Your standard work plane height. This is so we can calculate properly the spacing of light fixtures, and then your ceiling grid type. So in the coefficient of utilization, you'll need to go to the fixture cut sheet to determine the values here. So this is based off the reflectances of your space and that particular light fixture. So for this one, I know the values, and you need to enter it for all 10 values, not just 3 or 4, so that for any larger spaces, you can have the correct coefficient of utilization. So we'll continue to enter these values. Again, you'll just need to do this once for each fixture type that you're using. So we'll go ahead and accept. So since I changed it from 31 to 4,000 lumens, it's going to update that lumens back to the family so that the fixture schedule will be correct. Go ahead and hit yes. So as you can see, everything's populated here. If you like, I don't have multiple fixture types, but if I did, you'd be able to adjust them here. You can adjust your lumens value for that particular room instance here, and then you can update your coefficient of utilization values here if you have any changes. So for this demo, I'm just going to select the same ones. For those that have 0 foot 0, just that's what Revit is bringing in. We're going to ignore and uncheck those. We'll move to receptacles. So we're going to go to our default menu. Again, this is preloaded. You can pick your type and then the default number per wall. So the number per wall means that you're going to have that many receptacles per wall, and they're going to be evenly spaced. So 1 is dead centered, 2 is spaced out, and that'll be for each wall in the room. So we'll go ahead and accept. Again, it's going to populate everything. We'll select all. For the corridor walls, this is what I recommend. How Revit creates walls, it breaks up those walls during the construction process or the modeling process, so how the architects put them in. A wall that perpendicular or otherwise intersects another wall might create 2 walls. So this works actually pretty well for the 50-foot spacing of convenience receptacles within corridors. Coming down to dry storage, we really probably only want 1 6 inches from the door, so we can go ahead and make that change. In the men's room, probably want 1 6 inches from the door, and we're going to go ahead and choose a different type so we can get our GFCI in the restroom. I'm going to uncheck a few of these where we don't want receptacles. We'll put one in the storage. Here's another restroom. We'll change the type for, and we'll do that here in the women's restroom as well. Okay, that's the end of this list. Go to our default menu for the switches. Again, this is all preloaded. Go ahead and accept changes. We'll select all. There's a few places where we don't want switches typically. Corridor, lobby. This might be also a corridor in some spaces. It is in this model, So you want to probably deselect those. If you're using ceiling mounted occupancy sensors in restrooms, you can deselect them here. Probably don't need them in the stair, the sprinkler, or the dish room, or the vestibule. So now we're going to hit run all. We're at 5 minutes and 20 seconds when we hit that. So this is all real time. You're not seeing any time distortion here. Everything is at the pace that I did it. So it took 5 minutes to put in the parameters, and then as you're seeing here, it does not take very long to run through the calculations for this model. There are going to be instances for lighting where the fixtures might not be completely lined up, so you'll need to go and adjust where they sit in the grid, as we experience a lot of the time where the light fixtures aren't always in the grid that we'd like. But you can see here within 40 seconds we inserted 473 lights, 321 receptacles, and 88 light switches. So that's really Surfboard in a nutshell, making your life a lot easier, saving you a lot of time when it comes to drafting. So a few errors that populated. So it didn't populate anything in the storage rooms, the sprinkler room, nothing in drafting, and so out of that there were a few spaces that it did not end up populating. So by and large, it did what it was supposed to, as you can see here from the model. This is what I'm talking about, where like a wall intersects. So this is one wall, here's another wall. So in a corridor, it's putting them dead center, which turns out to be pretty close to what you want for convenience receptacles in a hallway. Light switches on the latch side of doors. You can see that throughout. And then if we look at a section here, go to the view, you can see light fixtures, make this fine, are populated into the grid. So that is Surfboard. Thank you for watching the overview, and if you have any feedback or questions, you can contact us, Dillon, D-I-L-L-O-N, at Kowabunga Studios, K-O-W-A-B-U-N-G-A Studios.com. Dillon at KowabungaStudios.com. Feel free to reach out, let me know what you think, and thank you for the feedback, and thank you for watching.